Hey guys, Felicia Crouch here with Felicia Crouch Brands. I hope you are awesome today. For those of you who do not know me, I have been in corporate America for over a decade in the medical sales, pharmaceutical, and marketing industry. I have also had the opportunity to launch a line of apparel that has been carried in over 400 retail outlets across the US, as well as the world's largest retailer. I am also the creator and founder of our Triad's first leadership and development program for both the public and private school sectors, and a published book author. So, with what I am about to ask you about today, you have best believe I have experienced it. Today, I want you all to think about emotional intelligence. And not just think about it, but think about your level of emotional intelligence when we look at the four areas. I'm just going to read them here: self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. But for the sake of today, we are going to really think about in our workspaces, how are we handling our self-management part of our emotional intelligence. So let me read to you what a survey and a study says about self-management. So self-management is the ability to manage your emotions, particularly in stressful situations, and maintain a positive outlook despite the setbacks. Oh my goodness. How many times have you been in a work environment and there is a stressful situation, and now you are having to self-manage? You know, with my diverse background, I can think of so many times where there's been a stressful situation, and how am I going to pull out the positive outlook on this? Let me tell you a story of one of those times. So, being a creator and launching a line, I remember being all excited about my line being produced over in El Salvador, and the retailers and the department store that I had as one of my customers. After the line was produced, it's now ready to come back into the US. And of course, it has to come on a ship. So I remember receiving an email and a call that the ship was stuck in customs and all of the apparel would be delayed. It was the busiest time of the year, which was Easter. And oh my goodness, it was so hard to keep a positive outlook once you get that news. Because the first thing you do is, like many of you have heard me say, the signal that comes into your brain that tells you, oh my God, all of the things that can happen to me from this negative situation and this negative news. For me, all of the things that could happen to me, as opposed to the things that could happen for me, were all of these retailers are going to cancel this order. I am now going to be stuck with all this apparel. Oh my goodness, think of the funding that's gone into getting this order produced. So I began to go down this hill of thinking about all the things that was happening to me. Like many of you, in a stressful situation, what is the first thing we think? What's going to happen to us, not what's going to happen for us. So as I wallowed in all of what was going to happen to me, I remember just laying there thinking there's got to be a better way. So I got up, pulled myself together, and came up with a strategy of how this could work for me. And I've said it many times to you: when there is a negative situation, not to think about what's going to happen to you, but figure out what can happen for you in this situation. So for me, what could happen for me was that I got on the phone and I began to contact my retailers. And I began to tell them about our situation, offering them a 10% discount if the order's late. So coming up with different strategies to really make the situation work to me, for me, as opposed to against me. Against me would have been canceling those orders. So, what I'm saying to you is when you are in a stressful situation at work, I want you not, when you get that signal in your brain of what's going to happen, how this is going to not work for you, and you are so stressful, I want you to think about, wait, how can this work for me though? This situation is beyond my control. It's beyond your control. You can only control what you can control. So, what you can control is coming up with a strategy and a way to figure out how the situation can work for you, which means if there's an order's canceled, there is not enough product, whatever it is, the marketing deadline wasn't met. How do you find a strategy within that space, within that situation that you can control where it works for you and productivity continues to move forward? So that is my tip for you today. Self-management. When you're in a stressful situation, find the positive, control what you can control, find the positive, and work through the positive step by step to make that situation work for you. You guys have an amazing day, and you can turn negatives into positives. You've just got to get the right strategy to step through them.